quietly it was like stirring the air. "I know," I said. "You're a great mother. That's not the point. Stop talking." I was sorry, and I wasn't. I had the urge to hug her, and I didn't. I told myself to be less selfish. She was so busy. She had a staff of 35 and an untarnished culinary reputation to uphold. The towel sat like a turtle on her head, its feet pushing and bending her ear. She had perfect ankles. Her eyes were the color of ripe pine trees. She made no sound when she cried, like women in the movies. I was a blubberer, full of watery snot. Aunt Lou said that when I cried, it looked like I was about to throw up. I put my hand on my thigh, willing her to forget. The scabs were pomegranate seeds, tiny and engorged. "You've always been like this," she said. My mother said I was sensitive even as a baby. After every fight, after she'd screamed, thrown a jar of Niçoise olives against the wall, or poured, she actually did this once, a full bottle of thyme oil over my father's head, she'd go to my crib. I'd be on my back. Everything right except for my tiny fingers and toes. They were curled into themselves as tight as fiddleheads. She had to uncoil them, one by one. My nails left mini purple crannies in the fleshy parts of my palms. She didn't know where that strength came from in such a little thing. "I hoped you'd grow out of it," she said, and I wished myself to be small again. I could have been more careful. I should have picked a stall that locked. Now she went to the freezer, and for a second I was bolstered. I thought, she's about to forgive me. She's about to take out puff pastry. We're about to make cinnamon pommiers. Instead, she grabbed a bottle of vodka and put it into her robe pocket. Whenever it seemed like she was going to scream, she didn't. "You have no idea," she said. "This is so much more than I bargained for." Nausea pulsed in my throat. I'd never meant to be more than she could handle. I did her laundry. I folded her socks into peacocks or hares. Civet of hair. Hair à la royale. "I'm sending you to boarding school," she said. "Principal Hidalgo has a contact. There's a spot reserved for second semester, which gives you all of December to get your ducks in a row." "No, I started. Already my mother's back was to me. I wanted to sit down but realized I was already sitting. I couldn't breathe. She grabbed the portable phone from the kitchen counter and dialed like this was all the phone's fault. She was calling Aunt Lou. She didn't say a word until she was in the other room. I wanted to tell her I was sorry. I would change. I bit down on my bottom lip until it almost popped. I shuddered. I noticed a spot on the couch that was darkened from where my mother must have been resting her head. I put my face into it. The dusty sweetness of her shampoo. "Please keep me." Just then, as if she'd heard me, my mother shouted from the other room, "And don't even think of hurting yourself while I'm in here." The first time, I was 6. I was making a cake for my mother's birthday and slipped on some grease when I was putting it in the oven. I seared both hands on the middle rack. For a second, the pain surprised me, took me, lifted me as if by a wave. I trapped the scream in my throat, but tears busted out of my face. I was all shock until I heard my mother's footsteps and realized that I'd put out my hands to do it again, touch the heat again, be lifted again, when the rack collapsed. The undone cake splattered like vomit. There were fresh raspberries in the batter. She came in. "Jesus, Lorca," she said, looking at the mess. She acted like I'd gotten peanut butter on her blouse. Just, "Oh, honey, get an ice pack." She had the obits in one hand, a peeled carrot in the other. I wanted to ask her if she loved me. She yelled for my father. He'd been outside chopping wood. His front was covered in splinters and chips. He made me put my hands on the counter, show him the damage. "Hush, baby, hush, hush," he said. I didn't need his sympathy, but he needed to give it.